Hey, this is Gerard.
And this is Mikey.
From My Chemical Romance, and you're watching the Kerrang video podcast. I think, Kennedy is kind of the only royalty we have in America. And I think he's awesome. And it's never been like a thing against him. It's just kind of like, I think it's the notion of what people took, what maybe they thought he represented, and things like that, and that's kind of what I feel like I'm playing with. It's the only kind of royalty we have to use as a point of reference to trying to make a point. I feel, Well, it was the spirit of bands like the Stooges and the MC5. That was kind of the start of it. But then, really, when we got to re-recording the album, we brought the spirit of those bands over with us, but it felt like we were tapping more into like bands like the Chemical Brothers, Primal Scream's Exterminator, things like that.
Yeah, we got to really tap into these influences that we thought we never could incorporate. Like there's a little bit of Teenage Fan Club on some of the songs. There's some Pulp on some of the songs. Manic Street Preachers.
For sure, Manics were like a really big influence on this album, just even from a sloganeering standpoint. And I know something they used to just make very big, bold statements, and that's kind of how I wanted the lyrics to feel on this record. I know, we must be. I mean, that's like, you just love British music, and even David Bowie's Diamond Dogs was a huge influence on this album, Well, it started as a comic that me and my friend Sean Simon were creating, and we're working with this artist Becky Cloonan, and then it became increasingly difficult working on the album, so put all comic things, all other things aside, on hold, but I found that that's what I wanted to be doing, was not telling a story with this album, but like the point of view or the statements that I wanted to make within the comic. I found that they were just creeping into my musical life, so there's no concept, there's no story to follow in any of this. It's really like it's kind of a pop art experiment. It's like a big riff on all of it.
I would probably tell them, really just ultimately play what you love. Don't ever write music or anything to, quote unquote make it or I want to be rich, I want to be famous. It's like ultimately that's poisoning the well, and nothing good could come from that, and people will smell that a mile away.
Frank has this great way of putting it, which is to say, we always felt like the original statement in and of itself is to say that music can save your life. Like it's you connect that with a band, but it's the power of music that can do that. And he likes to think of it, and we all like to think of it as like they did that. Like the kids themselves saved their own lives. I don't think they get enough credit for that. They did that. Like if we inspire them, cool. But so it's cool that they say it, but we really feel it is them.
It's like we like think our music is self-empowering.
That's great.
Awesome. Yeah, he's so much fun to play with. I mean, he's been a friend of ours for a long time, and to get to play with him is really rad. And the shows have been amazing, and the kids seem to love him now.
Yeah, everybody's been like super nice to him, and I think everybody kind of knows, especially anybody that's like really followed this band, had been a fan since the beginning. That we just like the four of us just like want to have fun and want to have a good time, and Mike has kind of provided that for us. It's crazy. It did feel like that.
Player, yeah, he's so great.
And he's so confident, even with all this material from years and totally different sides of the band and different albums, and a lot of those songs have really weird changes and stuff, and he just kind of fell in.
The rarest one I have is the Death of Gwen Stacy, where the Green Goblin throws her off the bridge. Yeah, that's probably the most valuable one I have.
Yeah, he's got a much better comic collection.
The first appearance of the Crow.
I do have the first appearance of the Crow.
Pretty expensive comic.
That first Deadpool. I like that one. That's a
Yeah.
special place in my heart for the first appearance. It's like 3 characters in one. It's like Deadpool, Domino, and Cable.
Oh, yeah,
same issue.
Triple
It's pretty cool. Yeah, we both love comics. No,
I don't really
I
care
mean,
about their condition anymore. I did when I was little, and now I realize that nothing's really, like, it's not really worth anything, quote unquote. It's just worth what somebody's gonna pay for it, and I don't, I'm not gonna sell them. So value of comic books doesn't mean anything to me.
oh, I would trust Mikey to play it, or Ray. They're both great. Yeah, they're both great.
Ray, I think Ray might be the best video game player that I've, yeah. Oh, I mean,
who is that? I guess depending on the game.
depending on the game, yeah, but Ray's the best Street Fighter player of all time, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, you.
I would probably then.
He was so good at the same time.
Anything super nerdy and abstract and kind of mundane,
You were in the
I'm really
Warcraft
good at.
We were both in the Warcraft for a bit too. We've since moved on to real life, yeah.
Probably Helena.
Yeah, Helena, definitely, absolutely. Yeah, that song I think encapsulates everything about us, and sonic quality, yeah, message, everything about it, yeah. It was so, we did all the rehearsals, and I was like, oh, well, I'm not nervous at all, and then the house lights went off, and I was like, and I don't even remember much of the first song. It was really jarring,
Yeah.
and it was a mixture of like me just being frightened, because we haven't done it in a while, and then just excitement and how into it the kids were, and it kind of like third song in, it was like old times again.
Yeah, it was probably the most adrenaline I'd felt ever playing a show was that first time back because we weren't sure if we'd get to do it again. So it was like this huge rush, I was big, huge relief, triumph, all that.
It was really triumphant backstage. Everybody was high-fiving, hugging. We were just talking about how great the show was afterwards. Oh, it was cool. Growing up, the NFL was really big. It was a really big thing in New Jersey, and I kept along with it over the years. It gets harder when you're on tour. Like I missed the past couple games. Like I missed the past couple Sundays, but Jets and Giants won like last week, I think. But it was mind blowing. It was surreal. Yeah, it was
Scary, right?
so scary though.
It's really scary.
There's so many people.
They wheeled out the stage first, so then we're just kind of like hanging there watching them do it, and then they just say go. And then we just run on and do it.
Yeah, everything's timed to the second too, and you gotta be on time everywhere, and it was great.